Hello, Ultra Running World. My name is Carrie Dawn Roy, and if you ran with me, my troll name is Happy. And while I was starting to film this, a strange cat just showed up and is being very loud, going around my feet, which somehow just seems normal for me. Um, wow, we have had a very strange week in our family of ultra running. And I just had a very funny story happen. I live in Dahlonega, and I went to Wendy's because they had the 4 for $4 deal. And it's a really good deal. I have a teenage son. Oh, okay, all right, I'll get you up here. Please, I don't know. Kind of strange. And I don't know this cat. It's not Sneezy or Possum. And there was a van in front of me that had ultra running stickers, and it had like 100K, the 50K. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my girlfriend Sarah Snyder, and I was like, "Who is this? One of our families here. It's got to be somebody I know." And she's like, "Oh, I know who that is." So it's raining today, and my little boy's driving. I mean, he's not like a little boy; he's 17. And while this lady was getting her food, I jump out of my car and like almost block her to say, "Hey, I'm Carrie. We're the same. I'm an ultra runner too." And she starts talking to me, and she has children in the car. But I just felt like I should say hey to her because I was obviously in her family and wanted to say hello. And also I had found her on Facebook while I was sitting there, and I tried to friend her. So I messaged Sarah after the fact, and I was like, "Please tell her I'm not like that strange, that if I scared her, I'm sorry." And she said it was kind of funny because her kids were like, "Are there ultra runners everywhere?" And I really might have to go inside because this cat, I don't know. I've got cat food out here for my cats, and you are welcome to it. I'm like, "Oh my God, sorry." This is too funny. This is cracking me up. Yes, we are everywhere. Um, and I'll go in my son's music room. And this has been a very emotional week, and I started to really think about my journey through being a part of the ultra running world. And I'll tell you that I'm 44, and I am the most unnatural athlete. I am actually a coach, but if it comes to throwing a ball or catching a ball, I'm probably going to injure myself or someone else. I didn't get to play as a kid, so it was very difficult when it came to middle school and high school. I really had no clue what I was doing, and I've had to work very hard for everything that I have ever done physically. About 15, 16 years ago, I worked at a program here in North Georgia, and it was actually a 28-day wilderness program for troubled teenagers. And we got to take these kids out on the Appalachian Trail 3 and 4 days at a time, go up to Mount Yonah. We were rock climbing, and it was therapy for them, but it actually started to be more therapy for me. And growing up with 3 sisters, they were always the ones that were inside, doing the laundry and the dishes, and me was outside cutting grass and splitting the wood. So I knew personality-wise that I was always going to be the one that was outside. I was not built to be a ballerina. I'm more so built to probably be like a roller derby girl, maybe a sumo wrestler. That was my thing. So I still really hadn't found my thing yet. But I could hike, and I could hike for a very long time. And then something new came into the world at that time, and it was CrossFit. And I actually started one of the first CrossFit gyms in Georgia. It was CrossFit in Dahlonega, and absolutely loved it. And with the combination of doing all these big long hikes with these students who, sometimes they would fake pass out. It was and then with the CrossFit, and learning the importance of eating habits, which is, I wish it wasn't like that. I wish I could just eat whatever I wanted to. Then I did, like a 5K, and I actually did pretty good. And then I did a 10K, and it was good. So, of course, I signed up for the Pinhoity. Todd can tell you. Signed up for the second Pinhoity. I was going through divorce at the time. Drove there by myself. Did not know what it was to be crewed. Did not know what to put in a drop bag. I mean, absolutely 100% clueless to what I was getting into. I had just done a 10K, so I thought that I would sign up for the Pinhoity. And one of the reasons I'd done this was because standing in my own CrossFit gym, I was talking to a group of people about this race that I had found, and I said that, hey, there are these races that people can do on trails. And I'm not fast, but I like being outside. And I think I found something. I may have found my sport. I may have found my thing. And they can go forever. Some races are 20 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles, and they even have 100-mile races. And I was like, one day I'm going to do that. And there were a few girls in the gym that I had the utmost respect for, that I loved as athletes and as people. And I overheard one of them say, she's too big for that. I'm kind of a Clydesdale runner. I'm a big girl. But every race I've ever done and any sporting event I've ever done, I can still hear that plain as day. Again, that was 15 years ago, and I did not finish the Pinhoity. I've been there 3 times. I still haven't finished, and that is okay. The first year being out there, again, when I was completely clueless, there were 2 men that were going from like aid station to aid station. And again, at the time, I didn't understand any of this, and it was Tom and Tommy. And they had kind of adopted me. I'm not shy. And it kind of became a joke. I think Todd had overheard me say, that I just ran a 10K, so of course I signed up for his race. And I got over 60 miles. I mean, and it wasn't like I did some horrible job, but I can tell you that those last few miles into that last aid station, I was probably in active hypothermia. I had taken my water pack and I'd moved it in front of me, and I was moving so slow, and the sweeper was actually in a car behind me, and they were like, are you sure you don't want to get in the car? And I'm like, no, I've got to get to the next station. And of course I didn't make the time, but at each time I got to the next station, there was a message for me from these 2 men that I'd never met before, and at one station there was even $1 that they had written on that I still have to this day. And I will tell you that that dollar hung from my my driver's visor probably for several years. And there were times when, after my divorce and losing just about everything, when I was hungry and I really could have used that $1, but you couldn't have paid me anything for that $1 that I said, don't fucking stop on it. It's what they had written on it. And it was a very long drive home. I remember, the pain of my toes, my feet. Again, I had no idea what I had just done. I thought that I'd messed up, that I'd failed because I didn't get to the 100 miles. But getting past 60 on the Pinhoity after only having done a 10K, I would say that I'm pretty proud of myself. It wasn't the miles. It wasn't passing an aid station. It was this man at the end that I was running with. And it was being supported by people that had never met me before. And that's when I knew, right at that moment, that I had found a group of people that I wanted to be a part of forever. So here's where I got lucky. I live in Dahlonega. I think I'm like 12, 13 miles from Vogel. So a lot of the races that were happening around my area, it was very easy for me to get to. It was very easy for me to help a lot of people that were trying to start these races. And I got to meet some of the most incredible people. I don't know if I've ever had a mile that was faster than like 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Again, I'm not a fast runner. If I'm not DNF, I am at least going to be your last one. But also, if you ran with me, I'm smiling the whole time. Every single one of us out there, we are dealing with something. And this is everywhere. This is every sport. It could be swimming, pickleball, it can be anything. We all have our demons. We all have our issues that we are dealing with. I am a recovering alcoholic. I deal with depression, anxiety. I have panic disorder. And the most peaceful times of my life have been on those trails. And it's crazy how you can get out there and drive miles and miles and sometimes fly to places, and you put on a bib number and everything is go, and you're out there with people you've never met before, and all of a sudden you get next to somebody and you are confessing parts of your soul that your best friends don't know. It's a therapy. It is a confessional. And the best way for me to explain ultra running is to say, if you are someone from the outside looking in, you will never understand it. And if you are from the inside looking out, you will never be able to explain it. Being a part of the family of ultra running, I have unlocked my door to people I've never met and gotten calls from, friends in Colorado saying, hey, I have a friend, she's beautiful, she's coming up, she needs a place to stay. And I'm like, hey, the door's unlocked, if her flight gets in late, she make herself, I've got the lights on, just come on in. And that's the type of people that we have become. And we are a strange looking group of people. Some of us are weirdos. Have you noticed that? It's funny during a race, especially if it's like a loop race, if it's a lap race, after a while, so many of us don't have names. I said if I ever wrote a book about running, it would be how after a while no one has a name. It's like, okay, there goes pink shorts. There goes booty butt. There's some guy in the Atlanta area, and every time we do, it might be like at 7-Eleven or there's something, and I think he has like an inchworm on his shoulder. I don't know what it is, but every time he passes me, I'm like, there goes inchworm. So I know that at some point in the race, none of us has names. It's there goes pink tank top. And so there are so many funny things that we can share with each other, but there are things that happen on the trails. Like I can remember coming around one time, and there's Jamila on this, barely off the side of the trail, going to the bathroom. She's like, just keep going. And I'm like, oh, okay, I just didn't know if you needed anything. We have gotten undressed in front of each other. We have gone, to the bathroom in front of each other. We have shown sides of ourselves to each other that people that we have known our whole lives and work with would never have the chance to see. And there are times on the trails that we leave a piece of ourselves out there. And if we are lucky enough, there are times when we find a piece of ourselves out there. I consider some of my closest friends, the people that I know would do anything for me, people that I have met in the running community and that I really only see on Facebook. But I know that if I send a message or the next time we get together, it's hugs and it's kisses and it's, how is your daughter? How's the new job going? And I know that it is a strange way that we communicate. It's not the normal way that things have usually been done, but I think as ultra runners, again, we're kind of different. I'm hurting by everything that is happening, and I know that so many of us are. And getting dressed, almost all of my shirts are running shirts. Almost all of my sweatshirts are running sweatshirts. And I know that a lot of us are struggling with what t-shirt is okay to wear. And I don't have to say much more than that with that. You will never hear me speak ill of another person. Most of you haven't, if you think about it, and you never will, because that's not who I am, and I know who I am. I know that there are people who suffer with mental illness. There are people who make mistakes. There are people who shut down. And personally, I try to be there for them, and I pray for them. But if we could somehow start to share stories of how we got into ultra running, and maybe some of the really funny things that we have been a part of when it comes to ultra running. Everyone is on every ultra running page right now, and they are watching and they are seeing what type of people we are. So let me tell you what an ultra runner is. It's pretty basic. An ultra runner can run all day through 90-degree temperature and then keep going on a mountaintop when it gets sub-freezing temperatures, wearing the same thing, sunburnt. When your feet are so blistered and half of your toes no longer have toenails. When you are unable to keep food in your belly and it is coming out of what feels to be every orifice of your body. When you have eaten gummy bears and pretzels and random things off of the ground when you don't even know where they came from. We are fighters. We are a group of people that do things that others tell us cannot be done. And our biggest enemy is ourself. And before we start any race, when we get to that point where we hit that wall, the conversation that we have to have that either stops us or keeps us going is right here. I'm not in a lot of the races, but I am at the aid station. And the first thing I always ask is, what do you need? So that's what we can start asking each other right now while we're going through this is, what do you need? What do we need as a community? Because when the dust settles from coronavirus, killer hornets, Tiger King, from the what the hell just happened, what did you just do, and the dust settles, you would better believe that we will still be standing. So my advice is careful with your words. because how you react to things when they are at their worst defines you and doesn't define others. And so I don't really know why I felt the need to just to kind of say that, just to kind of share that. But I have been here, and I've been, a part of this, and from the beginning, and I have so many just amazing, wonderful stories when it comes to running, and I'm so grateful for everyone that I've met along the way and the people that I will meet too. And if somebody has said they were going to take, all of their shirts from his races and have a big bonfire. Well, I was at some of those races with you, and that's kind of burning away like a memory with me. I don't have the answer. I'm not saying that I have the answer. But I do know we'll get through this because we're a big group of fighters. So I love you all very much. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of this. I don't really know what else to say except that if anybody wants a cat, it looks like I have one outside. Yeah, I have met some of the truly most amazing people that are in my life. And even if I don't talk to you every day, Kina, I love you. And, Perry, I love what this world has given me. And there's no result, there is no form, there is nothing that can take any of those memories away from me. Nothing. I won't allow it to. So, I love all of you. We're all family. We're all in this together. And I'll see you on the trails. Love you.